Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel Made with Love. My name is Heather and today I'm going to make some muffins. Really easy. I'm starting with a cake mix. This is a butter pecan cake mix, and then to this, to make it more healthy, I've got apples and bananas. So first things is we're going to start, just going to move the cutting board out of my way. First thing is we're going to start by making the cake mix part. So I've got my stand mixer, so I'm just going to add in the cake mix. And then to this we have to add, it's really hard to read. I don't like when they do this, but there's no pictures on here that says how much of each ingredient. You've got to read in this fine print right here to find what you need to make the cake, and it's so hard to read. So you need 1 cup of water, 3 eggs, and 1/3 cup of oil. So I've got my glass measuring cup here, and I've already got 2 cups of water. Now I need to add 1/3 cup of oil. Now I always like to mix my water and my oil in the same container. It makes it easier to clean because oil is really tricky to clean off of your, or to clean out of here. If you didn't want to do this, you can, I've seen some people like spray the measuring cups with oil, or not oil, spray it with the cooking spray, or they've even rubbed butter inside. I don't know. I just think I'm using water or milk with the oil. I'll do my water or milk and then the oil. So sometimes I make this with milk. I'm just going to make it with water today. So I've got my 2 cups of water, and I'm going to add 1/3 cup of oil. I will say this bottle says olive oil. It is not olive oil. It's just regular oil. My regular bottle of oil, the lid broke, so we had to pour it into this bottle. So it's not olive oil. I'm just using regular vegetable oil. And then we also need 3 eggs, which I've got right here. I didn't realize I forgot to open my package here. I buy my eggs in these big flats of 30. And so there was eggs in the fridge, but they got used up, so now I've got to open a new pack. And I thought I had already done that, and I guess I was going to, and then I started recording. So here we go. Okay, so same thing. I'm just going to add my eggs into this bowl. This way I've got my liquids in one and my dry ingredients in another. Also, when I do this, I always find if I were to just crack the eggs straight in to here, I would get eggshells. When I crack it into a separate dish, I don't seem to get any eggshells. Although I think I may have just dropped an eggshell in. Yes, I did. So I will have to get that out in 1 second. But I just saw an eggshell. As I said, if I don't crack it into a separate dish, if I were just to crack it straight into my mixing bowl, I always get eggshells. If I crack it into a separate bowl, I very rarely get eggshells. Now, for whatever reason, I can't seem to pull this eggshell out. There, now I got it. Okay, I'm gonna get my stand mixer going. The eggs and oil and water. I'm just putting on low just to start. And I realized, what did I just do? My bowl is not locked in place, so I'll be right back. Actually, I'm just going to set this aside for a second because I got to do the next thing. So I want to add the bananas and apples. So do my apples first. I've got to fix this. It's wobbling. I I always have trouble when I don't use it for a while to get it locked into the base properly. But okay, so just do my apples quickly. So I just got my little apple core here. I'll slice my apple, get rid of the core, and one pretty easy motion. I've already washed my apples. There we go. That one was a little bit easier. And I've got a little knife. Grab the wrong knife. So I'm just going to chop my apples up. And for this, you can make your apple slices as, apple pieces as thick or as thin. I think those were a little too thick. I think I do have to slice each of these apple slices in half and then slice them. So that's easy to do, so I'll be doing that. And same with the bananas. Just be slicing my bananas as well. Bananas are quite easy to slice. I used to have a banana slicer, then it broke, and hard to find a new one. So I'm just going to slice the bananas and the apples and get the bowl back in, lock it back in. So I'll be right back when I get these chopped and my bowl on there properly. Alright, so I've got my apples and bananas sliced. I've got this mixed together. I'm just going to stop this just for a second, just so I can, sorry, microphone's in the way. Just stop this for a second just so I can scrape down the sides just to make sure all this flour and everything gets incorporated. That's the one thing I always mess up on, is not scraping down my sides, and then I get chunks of flour and stuff. So there's a big chunk of flour right there that just doesn't get incorporated properly. So I've got 2 good sized apples and 4 bananas. That's what I had for fruit that needs to get used up. I'm just gonna pour all the fruit in here now. I got it fixed. I got my fruit all chopped up. I got the bowl put back on here. I always turn it the wrong way and I don't even notice it until I turn it on. So I usually try to test it before I start cooking, but I guess, or before I start filming and stuff, I guess I forgot to do that this time. Because it's really, it's really embarrassing when you go to do that and the whole bowl is wobbling because it's not locked in place. So it's been a few months since I've used this, and it's just trying to figure out how to use this again, I guess. Okay, so now I'm just gonna lock this back into place, because I also forget to do that too, the lever back here that locks the head part in place. I'm just gonna turn back on and get this kind of, the bananas and apples mixed in here. I could have pureed the bananas, but I like a bit of chunks of bananas in my muffins. I'm just gonna let this run for a couple minutes. Just gotta wash my hand. I'll be right back, and then I will show you what I do with the muffin trays. Okay, so that's ready. So I'm just gonna show these really large, these are actual muffin tins. These are about $2 at Dollarama. I don't quite remember exactly. They were probably like $1.75 to $2.50, somewhere in that range. So around $2-ish, give or take. I'm not quite sure their pricing because some of the stuff is going up to $4 for some of these pans now. And then I've got these parchment round cake tin liners. Again, I'm not sure if this is a new price or not. This one says that I got a pack of 20 for $1.50. These also may actually go up to, like, I think they're now $1.75, maybe $2 a pack now. So I bought these probably about 6 months ago. When I noticed the prices were really starting to go up, I grabbed a few extra packages of these. So I don't need that many, but I've got my 2 muffin tins. And so I've got this, and so what you need to do is find a good cup or a mug or something that fits in here. So I'm going to show you how to make your own muffin liner. So all I do is just take the cup, and how if I took the lid off, because I do need it to sit level on the surface. And then I just take the parchment paper and I just try to evenly fold it over, try to guideline where, figure out where the center would be. And then you just hold it like that. You just set it in the muffin tin and you lift up, and you've got a perfectly good muffin liner. So you don't really need to waste a lot of money. Now I'm going to say both sides to me feel the same. I never know which is the top and which is the bottom. So sometimes with some of these, you know which is the top and which is the bottom based on how they feel, but it's so easy to do. Why spend, like $3 or $4 on muffin liners when you can get a pack of 20 of these? Because I know the cupcake liners is one size, but the muffin liners are, I think the one time I bought muffin liners, I think I only got 10 in a package for like $2. Where even if these were up to $2, this is 20. So it's kind of like, yes, you got to do a little bit of work, but hey, baby kitty, scared me. Didn't know what was banging in the back of my leg. Okay. So I said it might be, might have to do a little bit of work, not just drop the liners in. You got to kind of make the liners, but if you can get 20 for $2, it's a lot better than 8 or 10 for $2. Now I have this other tool that I bought from the dollar store that I haven't used yet, so I'm going to test it out today and see if it actually works, what it says it's supposed to do. For making, mostly for like measuring out pancakes and muffins and stuff, supposed to make it easier. So I will grab that too and test it out. So I got these. I'm still going to grab my cooking spray if I have any left. I'll be right back because I forgot to grab that. Alright, so this is the little gadget here, but I'm looking at the size of the hole and my apple chunks probably will not go through it, so I'm not going to be using this today. But you basically put your batter in here and then you just squeeze it, and it's supposed to make it a lot easier to measure out and pour, but that's not going to work today. But I am going to, even though this is parchment paper, I am just going to quickly give these a little spritz. Just because I have noticed that one time I made these, and I don't know if it's because I don't know which side is which, or if there doesn't matter which is the top and which is the bottom, but I did find that some of the muffins still got stuck to the inside. So this time I'm going to spray it and see if it does make any difference. I'm just gonna unplug my mixer. I'm just gonna take, so I'll be right back because I gotta take this thing off. All right, I took the little attachment off of here so it's easier for me to lift up without having that paddle attachment in my way. Sometimes I don't take it off and then I have trouble scooping things out. It never occurs to me, take it off before you start lifting stuff up. So I am using a 3/4 cup measuring spoon. You can use like a half a cup, but I like this size. It's a good size for making muffins. And I'm just pour it in. And I think with these I could probably get away with doing like a full cup, but I don't like them to be, like oversized. Now the one thing with these type of making your own liners is the way that the liners fold in on themselves, so that you will get, the batter will get between the different layers. I don't know if I can explain it. But the way that the liner folds in, you will get batter in between there. So sometimes it's tricky to peel off. But I said it's just cheaper, and it's just cleanup is easier when you don't have to really wash your pans. But then do what I do, and that's get the liner folded inside on itself, and then I've now got the batter between the pan and the liner now. But I do that when I make cupcakes too. I always seem to spill it where I don't want it to go, so using the liners to make cleanup easier, and then you totally miss where you're adding the batter. I'm just gonna take these ones. I'm just gonna do this one at a time. It's just a little easier if I just hold one in place and started trying to pour, and then I got confused on that one which liner I was pouring it into. So this 3/4 cup, and then the batter is actually filled all the way almost to the top of the tin, but I've got extra liner above the tin. So this is a 3/4 cup is a good amount. I wasn't quite sure if it would take a full cup, but no, this is good. Trying hard not to get the batter to go on the wrong side of the liner. I'm not quite sure how many of these this is going to make. Just waiting for this to drip because I know myself I'm going to spill everywhere. And one more, and I've already got my oven preheated to 350 degrees, and I'm using my convection bake. So regular cooking, you know, it's the same. It's just with my stove or oven being able to use the convection, it cooks things a little bit faster. But I usually find not that much faster, just maybe a little more even cooking on some items. I'm just going to pull this up because I just don't want the liner to be tucked underneath, you know, crinkled underneath, so then the batter doesn't go over and spill, because that would be, you know, not good. Just going to make sure these are all even, you know, more evenly filled. See, I think the first one doesn't have as much batter as the other, so I'm just going to add a little more batter to the first one because I didn't know how much to add. There, now it's the same as, oh, even the second one still need a little bit more there. Now they're all more evenly filled. Guess maybe this one could use a little bit more as well. See, your first couple, always just try to gauge about how much you need. So now I've got these filled, so I will be putting these in the oven. I think it would probably take about 25 to 33 minutes, but I will let you know how long it took. So I'll be back when I'm taking these out. Actually, I have enough batter, and I've got this little mini bundt pan. Excuse me. Just sprayed the things. So I'm just going to put a little bit in each one of these. Now I figured out the last couple times I've used this, I've messed up using this pan because I've always just filled the pan right up as high as I would normally. Then I found out, no, you don't fill it higher than the center part. These have the little center part, whatever it's called. So it's never had a, you know, when you don't do a lot of baking and you don't really use a lot of these pans that have, you know, like things, like whatever, these little bundt pans, and I didn't know that. So anytime I've used this before, they never worked out. It's because I have always overfilled my pans, and I didn't know. I think this will be like the third time I've used this pan. It's a nice one. It's by Wilton. I didn't even notice that till just now. I got it secondhand. I think at a yard sale for like $1. You can't beat that. Getting any muffin tin at a yard sale in this condition for $1, and okay, I'm just gonna get these last two filled up and get this put in the oven too. So I'm not quite sure how long my muffins are gonna take to bake. It's So I'm gonna get these in the oven, and like I said, I will be back when everything is cooked, and I'll let you know how long it took. All right, I am back. I've got my muffins out. It took about 32 minutes, I believe it was, for these to cook just because of their size. So now I'm just gonna lift these out so I can get the tins out of my way. And then I will put these on a cooling rack. See, this is what I mean by even using these liners, I've messed up and I got the stuff in between. So I'm gonna have to wash those good, but that's okay. At least it's not as bad of a job as if I actually make these without the liners. Okay, so I've got my little cooling racks here. So I'm just gonna set the muffins on my cooling rack. Should have done this, should have had the cooling rack set up, and then I can just take the muffins straight from there onto here. Yeah, the liners are just too high for me to be able to stack my cooling racks on top of each other. So I'm just gonna move these over so I can get 8 on here. So that's those 8, and then I've got this other one. These, I always have trouble getting these to come out of the pan. It's always the center part that's always hard for me to get. Let's see if I tip it over, if it's gonna work. No, not yet. No. I'm just gonna grab my little spatula here and just kind of press down around. This is the other problem I have, is using these bundt pans, is and I can never get them out. Even the large bundt pans, I always have trouble getting the cakes to come out of them. There's got to be a trick, but I don't cook with these enough to have figured out the trick. But I figure if I just keep using it, one day I'm going to figure out how to do this. I really think it's just I'm not greasing them enough. I do know not to overfill, so they're not overfilled because I can see the tops of all of the little middle parts. Oops, I got 2 out. That's a good start. Maybe it's just being patient and letting them cool down a bit and just kind of. So I've got this whisk. It was a really cheap one from the dollar store, and I thought it would be good because it was in the packaging, so it felt really stiff. But the board, like, it looks like the wood would go all the way up, but the wood barely goes halfway, so it's really floppy. But I found that because it's really floppy, I can bend it like this. I actually love this to take cakes and stuff out of the pans because I can get right under the cakes. So that's what I use this one for, is just for removing cakes out of the pans. So I was going to get rid of it because I didn't like it. And then I was just trying to get a cake out of a pan, and I'm like, oh, it's perfect because I can slide it quite far under the cake. Okay, now I'm going to try this again. I got 2 more. Try it once more. Let's see if I can get the other 2 out. I got 1 more out. Try that one. Let me see if I can get this last one out. This will be the first time I've been able to use this pan and get them all out. Yay, I did it. I know, sometimes it's the smallest little things. It's like, oh, I actually did that and it worked. I'm just going to set these on here. So that is what I was able to make, these apple banana muffins. So I've got 8 pretty good size muffin. I mean, it fits in my palm of my hand, so it's a good size. And then I got 6 of the little mini bunt muffins things. Not quite sure what to call them, but I guess bunt muffins. So I'm just gonna grab this one here, it's closest to me. I'm just going to show you like how easy, like that made a huge difference with the cooking spray. It just came right off. And then I do get those cute little creases in the muffin, the liners. So that is a good trick to remember, even though I'm using parchment, because I've done the parchments a lot of times, but then the parchment always seems to stick, especially the way it folds, and then the batter gets between the little folds, and then it gets caught, and then it's hard to peel off. So I'm just going to split this one open. Look at that. That is a perfectly cooked muffin. I wish it was just a little bit darker, but I started with a cake batter mix. So if I want it darker, I should have added some brown sugar in it. I'm just going to see. I don't usually eat the food when I'm doing this, but I'm going to try it. That's really good. Don't see the bananas. I do taste the banana. But the apple chunks are really soft and moist, but they've got that slight little crispiness to it, which I love the crispiness in apples. When I bake, like making pies and muffins and things, I like my apples to be a little bit on the crunchy side. So you kind of like, you know, so you make the bigger chunks, they'll be more crispy. If you do the smaller chunks, they'll be softer. Again, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's been watching and subscribing to my channels and sharing and liking and commenting. And I'm really trying hard to answer. I see there's a lot of comments. My laptop was gone. My husband had to buy me a new laptop. So I really this week just want to get caught up on all the comments and get back into, I do want to, for this channel, make 2 videos a week. So I'm really working hard on that. Today is Sunday, so this is the 2nd Sunday in a row that I've actually done filming. So that is my plan, to work really hard to get 2 videos a week up on this channel. So again, just thank you so much to everybody, and I will see you all in my next videos. Bye.